Vanakkam all, Gomes here from CubenSquare. This is in continuation to yesterday's discussion on the e-commerce client. So they had one more ask. So they wanted to move away from AWS DynamoDB to MySQL. And their primary reason is because of the casting. So for such requirements, as a DevOps engineer or as a SRE engineer, first of all, we need to have some set of questions and checklist ready for the customer to understand what is the reason behind such movement requirements, movement request. Why are they even trying to move away from AWS DynamoDB to MySQL other than the casting? Right. So we have also prepared a set of questions to be asked. So before that, we first of all need to understand the difference between MySQL and DynamoDB. So MySQL is a relational database management system, which we know. And from a layman perspective, it is like you are entering into a library. And we all know that how they would have arranged the books in shelves in library, right? They are neatly arranged. You have shelves, you have categories listed properly as maths, science, physics, history, etc. You can find the books on the respective shelves. You can go and search for the books as per the title, author name, or the category. So for these structured data and for such structured applications, we can use MySQL database, like e-commerce website wherein we have the payment, order, and customer informations. On the other hand, DynamoDB is managed by AWS, and wherein MySQL is open source. So DynamoDB is serverless, it's a NoSQL data. For an example, you have a box wherein you have just full of files, folders, and pictures and everything. And you just wanted to pick up the folders and files which are unorganized. They are unstructured data. Still, you'll be able to pull the data, but these are unstructured data. They are horizontally scaling. And we have the high availability with automatic backup and replication as well. Right? So we need to understand this. And then, of course, this is an e-commerce client and they wanted to run complex reports such as number of products sold by the category within a time period. While DynamoDB can handle simple queries, doesn't support SQL like join across tables, something MySQL handles effortlessly. So that is one of the reasons they are looking for. So now the questions what we have prepared for them is, what kind of data will they be storing in MySQL? How much data you currently handle, right? What is the expected data growth? Why are you considering in moving towards MySQL? Is that only because of costing, or do you have any complex queries? Do you have performance issues? Why are you even thinking about that? Are there any specific MySQL features you are looking to utilize? And what is your current database structure and how do you plan to migrate that? And with respect to performance, we can ask them, in terms of query speed and database throughput, how many concurrent users or how many connections do you expect the database to handle? How do you plan to handle the database scaling as a business grows? Are you concerned with read-write performance? What are your security requirements? And mainly on their future plans and growth. That is the most important question. What is your future plan and growth? What is your strategy for replication? Do you need a high availability setup? Do you require automated backup? And how often will they need to be scheduled? So such sort of questions we have just prepared, and we plan to go and present the pros and cons of using both AWS DynamoDB and MySQL. So even though the client is aware of such thing, it is our responsibility as a DevOps engineer, SRE team to go and present such details and then go ahead with the questions one by one and document all these things. So if you're working in DevOps, you need tools that integrate well with your CI/CD pipeline, monitoring and orchestration system. See, MySQL has the native support and libraries for most of these tools. Plus, let's say tomorrow the customer decides that, hey, I don't want AWS at all. We are just going for a different cloud provider or even on-premises. For such scenario as well, MySQL is the best choice. In the world of DevOps, It's all about automation, scaling, and maintaining performance across the system. So when you're working with MySQL, you need to consider tasks like setting up automated backups, configuring replications for high availability, and tuning the performance to handle larger workloads. So at CubenSquare mainly, right? I mean, for such scenarios, we provide the interns and the DevOps professional with hands-on experience in managing databases like MySQL, integrated them into CI/CD pipelines, understanding the nuances of different database architecture. Right? I mean, only when you understand about different architectures, you can go out and make it. And as a SRE engineer, you are supposed to not just go with MySQL alone, go with another POC as well. Compare how it is going to look like when you use that. Give the comparison to the client. Give more information and options to the client. So our project aims to give you a real world exposure to tools you will be using throughout your career. It's full of hands-on experience and you'll be presenting to the client as well. Thank you.